You get what you ask for. Come on now, somebody. The 4 strong removals in your life with a strong prayer commitment. Come on now, somebody. Samuel, Saul, and David. Listen, good day, everybody. I'm super excited here. My name is Todd Shares. I'm the author of the books, The Brands, and the Attitudinal Disorder Wired Differently. And today's Thursday, third Thursday. It's the last day in our study week, so you get the rest of the week off. Thank you for joining me this morning. I appreciate all the prayers and text messages and all the likes and follows I'm getting. I appreciate everything you do. I wanted to just kind of jump to you this morning, kind of inspire you a little bit, get in, get out, and let's just kick some tail this weekend. We've got to get ready for it on a Friday. We got a great Saturday and Sunday. I hope all of you are looking forward to all those things that the Lord has made for us. I wanted to share something with you today, and I just kind of, my studies this morning led me to Samuel, Saul, and then David. Samuel, Saul, and then David. I really didn't quite get to David, but I really enjoyed about an hour with Samuel and the first king of Israel, Saul. And as I've been studying the Old Testament and sharing some things with you over this last week, like Amos and even Saul and some earlier teachings, and Samuel and some earlier teachings, I just really came to realize that the nation of Israel has just always been in plight. And there's a reoccurring theme with Israel as far as back to 200 BC and all the years prior, and working through these new kingdoms. And it's interesting how Israel has basically always been on the run. The Old Testament's talking about Israel and the chosen people. And there's one common denominator for Israel when they get into trouble with God, or they get their kingdom taken, or their nation overrun, or things of that nature from the Babylons or the Assyrians, or any of these peoples, these outer lands that have continued to attack Israel. And God, we talked about, was a fair, just God. We talked about it yesterday, and how he looked at us and how he stayed even fair and righteousness as justice rolls on like a river, and righteousness like a never failing stream. But he does, and he's just, and he's righteous with his own people. And what I wanted to share with you this morning is the reason Israel, I think, falls down almost in every epic episode. Solomon was talking about getting the first king elected for Israel. For many years, Israel was only run by prophets or teachers or seers. And Samuel was one of the most prophetic and most prolific seers in the Israel world, and all the things that went on before that. But after Samuel, the 12 tribes basically said, listen, we want a king. We've been getting our butt kicked by some of these people out here, and we won some, we lost some, but we want a king like the rest of the world. They seem to be stronger. And God was a little put off by this, but he said in an answer to their prayer that, hey, I'll give you a king. I don't want you to have a king. Samuel's going to explain to you that you shouldn't have a king, because the king is just going to come in there and you're going to have to pay taxes to him. You're going to have to worship him. He's going to be arrogant. He's going to be prideful. He's going to be sinful. Things are going to get away from him, because you're going to replace God with a human being, and you're going to call him king. And there's really only one king, and he's coming as Jesus Christ. But anyways, guys, Samuel, go ahead and give them what they want. And then Samuel goes out and he finds, through a lot of actions and running into Saul as a leader, a son of the leader of one of the tribes of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Matter of fact, the weakest tribe of all the 12 tribes, if you will, was Benjamin, and Saul came out of that weak tribe of Benjamin. Well, Samuel is drawn to Saul by God, and God delivers ultimately through a bunch of hoops Saul as a first king of Israel. And through all this action, Saul is delivered and he gives them this king. And as he comes through the leadership and rises in rank, the very thing God said would happen happened. Saul does not become a good leader. He becomes righteousness. He becomes prideful. He becomes all these things that everything God said would be, that they replaced God with the king. And so that's really what set off Israel. That's what set off God. God chose them as the most favored nation. That's what set off this whole thing that's going on. And so Israel is in favor, out of favor, in favor, out of favor. And I thought I would just tell you one of the things that I feel is the most important thing to me in my life. And I'm really, really work hard at. I was sharing with my wife last night. One of the things, or one of the reasons why I do the show, she listened to the show with me last night, and she listened to most of it with me. She's super special. She's not a person that likes to sit through those things, but she sat on the deck with me, and we kind of critiqued my message yesterday. And she gave me some good advice, and she liked pieces of it. She likes the entertaining side of it. But she was really grateful, and I really appreciate that. So, Tracy, if you listen to this show this morning, I'm talking about you, and I'm just grateful. But this morning, I thought I'd shorten it up a little bit, and I get right to the point. I don't have a long, elaborate, fun story to tell you, but I do want to tell you that Saul was the very first king Israel ever had, and God did not want a king. God didn't want him, but yet he gave Samuel what the tribunal's leaders asked for. And it was Saul, a strapping young man, very strong, very tall, very handsome, low voice. The Bible explains all these things. He fit the image of what a king should look like. And there it happened. He became the king. But then Israel fell out of favor after some early wins, and they fell into the slump that God said would happen when you replace God with anything else other than God, anything else other than respect for God. So what I would tell you right now is why Israel got into all these conundrums is because they forgot to pray. They stopped praying. They stopped thinking about things in life the way they are, the way they should be. They stopped thinking about God. And one of the things that we do that keeps us from thinking about God is we stop praying. We stop getting into the habitual side of praying, the reps of praying, the reps of relying on God, the reps of asking for things that we need, ask for things about ourselves to be more godlike. We have to be in the rep of prayer. One of the reasons I do this show, probably the biggest reason I do this show is that I want to stay in my own reps. I want to stay in my own rhythm. I want to stay in my own cadence. I want to grow myself in a speaking vernacular, and I want to grow myself in a prayer habitual moment. I want to grow myself in the study of the Bible. And if I do all these things and I put this cocktail together every morning and I'm habitual about it, it's my habit, it's my ritual, it's my reps, and I'm doing it every day, then I stay strong in the things that I stay strong in a commitment, in a disciplined way. And it is prayer life. It is study life. It is the biblical command of learning and becoming better. And so I just want to kind of talk to you about Saul from that perspective. I want to talk to you about all of Israel. And every time they get their kingdom and lose their kingdom is all in a direct recourse to the fact that they stopped praying. And so I thought I would just say, hey, listen, friends, one of the most successful things I've done in my life, especially in this last or later stage of my life, is that I've been habitual about prayer. I've been habitual about my study. And one of the things I want to share with you about this show, the most important thing about this show, is that I'm going to be here. I am going to do this, man. You don't have to love the show. You don't have to like the show. Just kind of check over here every now and then. I hope he's still doing it. Because it's part of my prayer life. It's part of my study life. It's part of my commitment. It's part of what I want to do with God for myself and what God wants me to do with you and for you. I want to pray with you. I want God to pray with me. I want to pray with God. And all of this is part of the habitual side of growing yourself in your personal life, your profitable life, and your spiritual life. It all has to come together in work-life harmony. So I thought, hey, okay, let's talk about prayer. Why is prayer so important? Why is prayer so important for me? Why does God feel like it's so important for you? And why the most successful people in the Bible were habitual prayers? And so I thought I would break down the 4 things that prayer removes from your life. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the 4 things that prayer removes from your life. A little play there, prayer is supposed to add things to your life, but I'm going to tell you the 4 things that prayer will remove from your life that will grow your life. Stick with me, man. We're going to do this thing. 15 minutes. The 4 prayer removals of your life. The 4 things that come out of your life from a strong prayer life commitment. So the first thing I want to tell you is this is going to be what's called an acrostic message, meaning that I'm going to take the word prayer, P-R-A-Y, pray, actually not prayer, but pray, P-R-A-Y, the 4 removals in your life of a strong prayer commitment. So the first thing I want to tell you that's removed from your life with a strong habitual prayer life is pride, right? Solomon appointed the first king of Israel, and it was Saul. And Saul ultimately rose to power because the people thought that's what they wanted. God said, that's not what you really need. You need me as your king. Christ is going to come. He is your true ruler. He's your true king. But if you really, really want a king, I'm going to give you Saul. Saul gets in there, has a pretty good start, looks like a king, acts like a king, talks like a king, feels like a king, and then he drifts. He gets prideful. He puts himself in front of the kingdom. He puts himself in front of the people of the kingdom. Pride became more important than his true prayer life. Pride in himself, winning and losing for himself, how he looks for himself became more important, right? Are you thinking about yourself right now? I'm thinking about myself right now. How many times have I let pride get in the way of a negotiation? Many times have I let pride get in the way of making a good decision? How many times have I let pride get in the way from actually building someone up? I mean, I do a real good job at that. I work really hard at it, but how many times have I done that in my life? Pride got in the way. If you have a good prayer life, pride will be removed in your life. That's what God does with prayer. Number 2, regret. If you have a strong prayer life, regret will be removed from your life. You'll have very fewer things that you're going to regret in your life. Why did I do that? Well, I didn't pray about it. I didn't talk to God about it. I didn't think about it that way. I won't regret as many things. 1, pride will be removed in my life with a better prayer life. If I pray more, pride will leave me more. If I pray more, the R in pray will be, I will regret more. I will regret less. So I will be removing regret from my life, right? I'm removing regret from my life. I am praying for things that are godly. I'm praying for God to make me godly. I'm asking God to help me be righteous, right? And if I'm asking for those things on a regular basis, we could use regular, we will have fewer regrets on a regular basis. And number 3, atrophy. How many times in our life are we just tired of our life? We're just tired of losing. We're tired of going through the same rigmarole. We're tired of the same people. We're tired of the same commercials. We're tired of the same clothing. We're tired of the same feeling. We're tired of the same coffee. We just get tired of life. And that atrophy of life builds up and drags us down. If we have a strong, active prayer life and we're praying, God will remove the atrophy in our life. He will literally cleanse us on a daily motion. He is going to remove the atrophy. He's going to help us understand that that's what he wants. We are communicating with him. We are praying with him. We're having a dialogue with him. He will bring things to us in that regard. And last but not least, I want you to understand PRAY. The Y in pray stands for you. You're going to remove you from the equation, and you're going to make it more about him. You're going to remove you from the equation and make it more about what God wants in your life for you and for you to give to other people. That's very, very important. The 4 things that will be removed from your life with a strong prayer commitment. Hey everyone, thanks for that short Thursday take. Go to wireddifferently.com. That's wireddifferently.com and type in the promo code WIRED15. I want you to understand you get 15% off of any of these shirts. So this doesn't happen to be a shirt, but it's the color of the shirt behind me. But you got faith, you got all your favorite scriptures, you got Wired Differently, all kinds of sweatshirts, t-shirts, and long sleeve t-shirts and hoodies. What a great site to go to. Get to wireddifferently.com, enter the promo code WIRED15, get 15 additional % off. Thanks for listening to me today. Thank you for stepping up your prayer life. Remember to pray. Pray is the thing that is going to remove 4 key ingredients in our life. It's going to remove P for pride. It's going to remove pride. It's going to remove R for regrets. It's going to remove A for the atrophy, the tiredness of your life. It's going to remove you and it's going to install God into your life moreover than that. God bless you guys. Have a